Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Dan Donovan from Magna International, a former hairstylist himself, to welcome honored member Curt Harnett. Oh, my watch.
Certainly a family without emotion. Let's get this party started. First of all, I'd certainly like to thank Sharon and the co-chairs for this evening's dinner. I got to imagine that putting an event like this together is a significant undertaking, especially getting 30 some odd hockey players together, and it was kind of like herding cattle in the back as you get these guys exchanging war stories. It was really something, but it certainly is a real significant moment for myself. I'd like to make a special mention at this point in time to pay tribute to an organization that I've just got my feet wet with in the last few months. An organization by the name of Exposoft Solutions, which is a company that I now work for, who embraced the receiving the news that I was going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame with 2 feet. They jumped right in, and not only are they here tonight, but they went a step further and purchased a table tonight for my family so they could be here and share in this moment. And for those of you that haven't heard of Exposoft Solutions, just wait. To the other inductees, I am, as you've heard, it's kind of the Canadian way, truly humbled to be here and standing in front of you this evening. It really is a tremendous honor. To Steve Bauer, who truly is Canada's greatest cyclist, a man that inspired his teammates at that 94 Olympics, or 1984 Olympics, where myself, I raced. I followed behind Steve a couple of days later in my particular competition, and he proved at that point in time that we as a cycling team had what it took, and we didn't have to doubt ourselves, and we really had to take it to the next level. And you know, those days in that yellow jersey at a time where it was unheard of for a North American athlete, let alone a Canadian, to wear it. Steve, you truly deserve. Where's Steve? Where did it go, Steve? Steve, hiding behind all those hockey players. But Steve, thank you for that. To George Gross, I mean, to think that a man, that man, actually took the time and actually had my name in 1 or 2 of his articles, it truly was amazing. Claude Raymond, one of our future inductees coming up here, proved that Quebec was, had the potential. He set the world on fire with his prowess in baseball, and proved that Quebec had more going for it than just goalies. To Paul Beeston, of course, who taught those Yanks a thing or two about that favorite American pastime. Paul, congratulations, and it's nice to see you wearing socks tonight. And not certainly last but not least, the 72 hockey team, who, as most people, aspire to generation. And you guys, you taught us. Those Canadians that were sitting in front of that television. Some of us maybe a little younger, but who taught us how to win and how to win in Canadian fashion. But tonight, Harnett family, it's the Irish in us. I'd like to dedicate my induction to somebody. Having never thought that I would have the opportunity to ever call myself a Hall of Famer or stand in front of a group of people and say, wow, I'm in the Canadian Sport Hall of Fame. I'd like to dedicate it to a man who had more to do with it, perhaps, than myself. He was my first cycling coach. And before I ever had a dream of racing at the Olympic Games, he was perhaps the first victim of the final kick of Curt Harnett on Bering Avenue up down in Winnipeg, Manitoba. He was the first goalie to feel the effects of my hockey magic, as I scored on him time and time again during the intermissions of Hockey Night in Canada out on the cold Winnipeg streets. He was my first hockey coach that encouraged me to stop piling snow in the corners of Winnipeg's coldest ice rinks, and that chasing around that little black puck was actually a lot more fun. He was a man that never showed fear, the man who drove all hours of the night to cities like Winnipeg and Minneapolis in a beat-up old retired shop van with the letters TBCC, Thunder Bay Cycling Club, painted on the side. He never hesitated and never paused, and drove all night and would pull over to the side of the road if need be to catch a few winks just to make sure that his boy got to that competition and got the competition that he needed. To the man who trusted a 17-year-old with a credit card when it was finally time for him to travel out of the country, but he knew full well that it gave that boy the courage to spread his wings and take on the world, knowing that should anything go wrong, should he be in a situation that he never felt comfortable with, he always had his ticket home. To the man who could get himself into any sport venue as long as he had a Team Canada pin, who knew how to get himself front row, front and center. And I'd like to point out this evening that my family is over. Again, thank you, Expo Soft Solutions. Table 10, and sitting right in front of me here right now this evening, in Mr. Beeston's chair, is that man. This is also the man who, in celebrating his 70th birthday last year, challenged the children of his family as we all tried to keep up with him, and he was able to so-called drink us under the table and show us that us kids had nothing. My induction is dedicated to the man that made every effort to be there, for every medal, for every podium, for every non-podium, for every world record. Well, there's only really one of those, but he was there. He was there, of course, at the permission of my mother, who is here tonight as well, who allowed him to travel the world. But I dedicate this honor bestowed upon me this evening to my friend, my mentor, and my father, Mel Harnett. Thank you.